Good evening and welcome to Tetrakey. My name is Mark Hopkins and this is number 195 Facebook Live Performance Acceleration Conversations that Rob and I are doing in 2017. So Rob did one this morning, which was very cool. So I'm doing one today, which is called Hey Dreamer. I was speaking to a client previously, probably about a month, 6 weeks ago, and he was telling me a story. And he was walking through his offices, and it's quite a big organisation, and he's walking through quite a few C-suites. And he walked through, and he's walking, and as he walked, he sort of, when you catch something out the corner of the eye that's sort of abnormal. We talk a lot about this sort of breaking routines and stuff and consciousness and autopilot stuff. But he was walking and there was something out of the corner of his eye which he looked at, and it was a little bit of a strange one. So he stopped, he backtracked, and he looked into this office. And in this office was one of his direct reports, leaning back with his feet up, resting on the desk. And he walked into the office and he was like, what are you doing? And the guy sort of looked at him and goes, thinking. And the CEO sort of paused for 2 seconds and goes, oh yeah, that's what I pay you to do, isn't it? And I just thought it was a really interesting story. And the reason I thought it was interesting is how often do we actually understand what we're here to do? So that CEO was thinking, actually, yeah, I pay you to think. We always feel that we have to be doing tasks or doing things in order to be adding value, but sometimes actually stopping to pause and think is actually adding even more value. So that's one thing. So I want to talk as well a little bit about Hey Daydreamer, because it's interesting how sometimes we put pressure on ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to daydream. But I want to talk a little bit about the daydreaming and mindfulness and the similarities and the differences between the two. And where daydreaming sometimes becomes mindfulness is when you daydream with a purpose. Now, there is nothing wrong, and cheapers do I love it, just lying there and having music on, nothing else, closing my eyes and listening to music and just being in the moment, being present, or sitting on the beach and just staring out into the ocean. Cheap as it is the most refreshing thing. And yesterday, bizarrely enough, while I was in pain and agony doing a stunning bike ride, it was my first ever bike race. And we did 106 kilometers yesterday and up and down hills. But just even when you're cycling, just being able to daydream into the distance. We did it through a place called the Valley of 1,000 Hills. So it gives you a little indication about how much fun this bike ride was, but also the views. Just daydreaming when you're cycling. Luckily, the roads were closed, so before people say that's very, very crazy thing to do, but the roads were closed. It was a proper closed race. Just being able to daydream and look out over the mountains. So daydreaming with a purpose, I think, is a really important thing to do, either to recharge your mind. So what I want to do now is I'm going to shut up. And the reason I'm going to shut up is because I don't think we spend enough time in silence. Well, I don't, definitely. And for those people who are going to watch this, just have 30 seconds. We can do two things. You can do 30 seconds where you're going to see and you're going to try your best to turn off your inner voice. Okay, so that's that thing inside your head that always talks. So let's do a little test. Okay, I'm going to be quiet and I haven't got a stopwatch. I'll look at my clock here. And we're going to see if we can do 30 seconds of silence and you're going to turn your inner voice off. Right. And 3, 2, 1, go. Right, 30 seconds. How was that for you? If you were like me, you probably had those thoughts that started to try and come into your head, and it was almost like you put defences around your head that you were saying, nope, you're not coming in now, my friend. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do one more 30 seconds, and you're going to pick one thing that you're grateful for. And I just want you to think purposefully about what you're grateful for and what you're going to do to ensure that you get the most out of that thing. So just 30 seconds, you're going to pick one thing that you're really, really grateful for and what you could be doing to get the most out of that feeling. Okay, and go. Cool. So how was that? So my thing, hopefully you can't hear, but my boy's fast asleep now, but he sleeps with music on. So while we were quiet here, I could just hear one of his songs playing. So I'm just so grateful for Seth and everything about him. So the thing that I'm going to be doing more of, because I think I've let slip over the last 2 weeks, is just give him more 100% of Mark time. I think the things over the last few weeks have been so hectic, and it's no excuse, but I feel that I haven't been always giving him my undivided attention. So tomorrow I will do a lot more of because he's writing a story at the moment. So tonight we were in bed and he was reading his first page of a story. So I'm going to spend a lot more time over the next few days, weeks, to be more conscious with him and more present. So the two things we've tried tonight. So the first thing you've tried to do is you've tried to be mentally silent, to turn off that mental chatter for 30 seconds. And it's an amazing thing that you should try and do every single day, and build it up so you can actually be mindful. You can just be quiet in your head. Just so tonight we did 30 seconds, tomorrow try and do a minute where you don't allow thoughts to come into your head for a little bit. And daydream with a purpose. So the second thing we did was just picking one thing to be grateful for and just being purposeful about those thoughts and purposeful about what you're going to do more of to get more value out of them, or to ensure that you are telling people how grateful you are, or showing to yourself how grateful you are for certain things. So there we go. There are a couple of things that we've shared tonight. I look forward to hearing your feedback on how they've gone, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. So I wish you a phenomenal evening or morning or day, and I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.